The other one is Parker Palmer, right? Parker Palmer's American educator and a fairly legendary figure in this sort of field. Written a number of really important books. Another one that I use a lot with students is called To Know as We Are Known, and it's really a wonderful book. This is the one called The Courage to Teach, and he's a Quaker, and a fairly serious Quaker. There's a variety of insights that come out of the Quaker tradition, more generally the Christian tradition in this. But the particular reason to include it was the subtitle, Exploring the Inner Landscape of a Teacher's Life. So Palmer is one of those people who has emphasized the personal, spiritual, relational nature of teaching and learning. And this was before, he was one of the pioneers in this area, excuse me, back before people were thinking of it in those terms, and there's been a development over the last 20 years to take more seriously the personal life, spiritual life, relational life, etc. of the teacher. He's been one of at the forefront of that, not just in Christian circles, but also in secular circles. And his books have had a very, very, very wide readership. And the kind of Quaker spirituality that he talks about is accessible to lots of people outside of a Christian frame of reference, because it's very much about attending to what's going on inside of you and who you are in your relationship to other people. There's a sort of reflective, meditative side to what he's talking about, and that can transfer into wider contexts fairly well. So Palmer is just a really great resource. I would want to go further along the spectrum and be a little bit more specific about some of the Christian practices of spirituality behind this. But all the seeds are really there and in a very helpful way. And he's got a chapter in here that I'll refer to at some point today or next week that I think is extremely important for my purposes, which is chapter 5. It's called Teaching and Community, a Subject-Centered Education. And I'll explain a little bit of that as we go, because that's a very important concept, and there's a debate that he's tapping into that's a very good one for us to be aware of. So that's a bit about Parker Palmer. There's a lot of his stuff on the web if you're interested in interviews and discussions with him and talks that he's done as a potential resource.